Hello pupils, you are welcome to this segment of the program, The Classroom in Your Home. It is mathematics time, and that means it is time to have some fun. I am Uncle Agbaje. Today in mathematics, we will continue our work on numbers. We began with looking at how to write large numbers in words. Today, we'll look at something different. First, we will look at the correction to the previous assignment, as is our usual practice. Now, we're asked to write these in words. So I hope that you have grouped them in threes, as I have done mine here. So now we'll put these under unit, these under thousands, and then this under million. Unit, thousand, million, billion. Unit, thousand, million, billion. That is the count that we're going to follow. So final answers come out. I have 2,524,436. I have 62,100,052,311. And this one, 4 is under units, and that's just 4. 5 is under 1,000, and that's 5,000. 622 is under million, that's 622 million. And 721 is under billion, that's 721 billion. So in our final answer, we're going to write 721 billion. 622 million, then, as I have said, 5,000. This is not 500,000, that's 005, that's 5,000, and then you have 4. Now, I believe you got that right. Yeah, I'm sure that was easy enough for you, and for that, you get a chair. Now, moving on to today's work, our learning objectives. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to group numbers in threes under the appropriate place values. You should be able to write numbers in millions in figure. So we're going to be writing in figure today, not in words. And you should be able to write numbers in billions in figure as well. Okay, so just as we can change numbers from figure to words, we can take a number written in figure with the digits, we can separate them in 3, and then write them out in words and pronounce them the way we're supposed to call them, no matter how large the number is. Just as we can do that. When we have a number given in words, we should also be able to change that number back to figure. It's a reversible process. If you can change figure to words, you should be able to change words to figures. So today we're going to be looking exactly at how that is going to be done. Now, I want you to give me your undivided attention, because there are some details that you need to pay attention to so that you do not miss your way. Now, we're starting with our order of counting numbers. You must remember and keep at the back of your mind that the first 3 digits will be counted in ones. Then it will be counted, after that we count in thousands. That's why the arrow is pointing. You progress this way. Ones, then after that thousands, and after that millions, and after that billions. At least that's where we stopped in our last class. So, let's begin with this first example. The example says, write in words. Now, read the number written on the board. I will read with you. 51,291,895. Now, is it going to be easy to just write 51, 291? Well, I don't want you to run into the error of simplicity. So just drop your pen and pay attention to how I am going to do it. Now, the first thing we want to do is that we want to look for the highest place value. And you will see the highest place value at the beginning of the number. So we have 3 place values here. We have the million. We have the million. Then we have the thousand. Of course, after million, you must look for thousand. Don't be confused by the 100. After million, since you're coming backwards, you must look for thousand. And after thousand, you must look for ones. But you will not find ones. Because when you're changing from figure to word, you will not write ones. So after million, you have thousand. Then every other thing after that, you just write it normally. So the largest place value is million. So what you must do is that you must draw the house for millions with 3 rooms. Say million is going to be here. Then after million, there must be thousand. You will see it come on screen now. So you must have your thousand. And then after that, that will have 3 rooms as well. You must have ones. And then that one will have 3 rooms as well. And this is where you put your numbers So let's go and see how it's going to pop up. So that's it. You must have million, and you must not jump thousand. Whether you have thousand or not, you must put a house for thousand. Once you jump thousand, you may make mistake. Now, how many million do we have? We have 51 million. So we must put 51 under million, okay? Because we have 51 million. Here it is. 51 million. So we must put 51 here. Now, how many thousand do we have? This is 1,000 here. We have 291,000. So we must put 291 here. And then we must have 895 under the ones. Now, you need to be careful here when you want to write your 51. 51 is 2 digits, but you have 3 rooms to fill. So you must fill from the right. Don't fill from the left, because that will be erroneous. Okay, so you fill from the right. Now, we must put 51 under millions, and I've done that for you. So now, our final answer is just 51,291,895. This is how we write it in words. So 51,291,895. Now, it looks easy on the surface of it. Why don't we just write 51,291,895? That will not always be the case, as you will see in the next example. Now, this example says we should write in figures 79,028,106,054. So let's just see how this is going to be done. The first thing you want to do is that to identify the largest place value. In this case, the largest place value is the billion. So you must build a house for billion. And when you have billion, automatically you must have million, whether you have million in the number or not. You have billion, then you must have million, then you must have thousands before your ones. As you can see, you must have billion, million, thousands, and one. So what you want to do now is to look for the numbers to put under each. Now, in this case, there are 79 billion, as it is said in the number. So we'll put 79 under billion. Million, we must put 28 under millions here. And you fill from the right, like I've said, if you have 3 spaces and you have less than 3 digits. We must put 106 under 1,000. That one is easy. You have 3 digits, so you just fill it. You must put 54 under ones, like this. So you see that for those places that are 2 digits, we put from the right 79, 28, 106, and 54. That is very easy. But what we must do now is, this is not the final answer, okay? This is not the final answer. All the spaces have to be filled up. They are supposed to be 3 digits, but you have just 2 digits. You can't leave it blank. Because remember that when we were studying numbers in the last class, I said the 3 digits have to be filled up before you move to the next. But when you're jumping to the next, you must put something here. These 3 spaces have to be filled up before you move to the next. But now that there's a blank space, you must put something there. So what must we put there? We must fill all the empty spaces with zeros. And that is only when you can be correct, my friend. Fill all the empty spaces with 0, then you will be correct. In this case, 0 serves as the placeholder, something to just hold that place, because that point has no value. We fill all the spaces with 0 except the first one. You can neglect that one, it doesn't change your outcome. Now our final answer will now be 79,028,106,054. The most important aspect of this, my friend, is not just constructing the house and putting the numbers, but filling up the empty spaces with 0. That is the only way you can get your final answer correctly, because you need a 0 to hold the place of some spaces that do not have digits of their own. Now here is some for you to do. Write these numbers in figure. Take your time, build all the houses, fill zeros wherever necessary. I'll be back in the next 1.5 minutes to check what you have done. Alrighty then, eyes on me. Let's see how these are done. The first one says 42,187,305,246. So we just put 42 under billion, 187 under million, 305 under thousand, and 246. This is pretty straightforward and it is easy. I hope you got that right. Good job, you. That is it. The next one says 936 billion 6,410,096. So again, we build their houses from billion because billion is the largest place value, and we have to build for million, thousands, and one. Then we'll put the numbers that correspond to each of the place values under them. 936 or 930 under billion, as you can see. Under million, we have just 6, so we feed it from the right. That's why you have it here. Under thousands, we have 410. That's 410,000, so 410 under 1,000. Then under the ones, you have 96. Next thing to do, of course, I hope you did not leave your answer like this. Good job, you. You're a smart kid. You have to fill it with zeros. So this is your final answer, my friend. 930-006-410-096. Let's take a look at the final one. This one says 770 billion 4,098. So we have to build houses from billion because that's the largest place value. Billion, million, thousand, one. So under billion we put 770, as you can see. Nothing under million. Under thousand we have just 4, so we fill it from the right because it's just one digit. Then you have 98 under 1. That's just 2 digits, so you fill it from the right. Now you have so many empty spaces. You're not going to leave them blank. You're going to fill them up with zeros. That's this. Then your final answer becomes 770-000-004-098. This indeed, my friend, is 770 billion 4,008. As you will see that if we have to put the place values all over again, this will be ones, thousands, million, and then billion. But if you decide to write only the figures as you say it, then you will say what you will get. Let me write it out for you. 770 billion 4,098. So now if you say this is your answer, this is not wrong, because if I group them in 3, this will be ones and this will be thousand. So this is just 770,498. It does not translate to what you were asked to write, and that is why you need all these zeros to hold all the empty spaces so that you can shift your 77 all the way to billion. I believe you got that. If you did not get it right, you have another chance with the assignment, which will be coming up on your screen right about now. So copy this, and I will be back, because today is Tuesday, and you know what we have? We have Magic Tuesday. Hello children, you're welcome to this segment of the program. It is Magic Tuesday, where I show you all the secrets in mathematics. So what does Ongwagbaji have for us today? Let's unveil it. Now, we are talking about numbers this week. Now, do you know that there is not a number that is called 1 zillion? How many of you have talked to people and they say they have a zillion in their account, or they talk about zillion as if it's actually a real number? A zillion is not a number, as you will see in the course of the Magic Tuesday segment. Also, some people will say they have uncountable in their account. Well, uncountable is not a number technically. It's just an English word. Okay, so these two numbers, they are not numbers. I mean, I told you the story about when I was younger. We talked to my brother and we talk about the largest number. He says, after billion, what? I say zillion. After zillion, what? Uncountable. After uncountable, what? Uncountable, and so on and so forth. But there is nothing like uncountable or zillion. So what numbers exist after the ones that we know? Let's see. Today we will extend our knowledge of numbers. We will learn place values that are larger than billion that we have already learned today. So, of course, you know that we have 1 unit, and that has no zero. 1 is just 1. no zeros. But after ones, we count in thousands. And 1,000 has how many zeros? It has 3 zeros, as you can see. You're familiar with this one. After thousands, we count in millions. Now 1 million has how many zeros? It has 6 zeros, as you can see. But after millions, when we're done counting in millions, then we count in billions. And 1 billion has 9 zeros. So the number of zeros keeps increasing by 3. But after 1 billion, do you know the next number? Yeah, some of you already know it. It is 1 trillion. And 1 trillion has 12 zeros. Okay, if you didn't know that before, perhaps just keep that at the back of your mind. But numbers do not stop at trillions. You see, after trillions, we have a number that has 15 zeros. The next place value after trillion is called the quadrillion. Yeah, you heard me right. It's called a quadrillion. A quadrillion has 15 zeros. But then numbers, you can keep writing numbers on and on and on. Then you will exhaust the quadrillion. So after the quadrillion, what do you have? You have the quintillion. The quintillion has, 1 quintillion has 18 zeros. And this is how we represent that. 1 times 10 raised to the power 18. 10 raised to the power 18 means it has 18 zeros. And then after the quintillion, you have the sextillion. The sextillion has 21 zeros. Okay, keep writing numbers, and then when you exhaust the sextillion, do you know the next number? The next number is the septillion. Somebody's already saying, wow. Yeah. You know, if you know your French numbering system, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you go on. After the septillion, you have the octillion. The octillion has 27 zeros, and after that, you have the nonillion, just like your octagon, then nonagon. The nonillion has 30 zeros, and after that, decagon, right? And you have the decillion, and that has 33 zeros. I mean, there are so many other place values after the billion. Quadrillion, quintillion, sextillion, septillion, octillion, nonillion, decillion. But is the decillion the largest possible place value? No. There are some really, really, really large numbers after the decillion. In fact, you have the undecillion, duodecillion, tridecillion, quartodecillion, quindecillion, sexdecillion, septendecillion, octodecillion, novemdecillion. Then you have what you call the vigintillion. The vigintillion has 63 zeros, and then you have the trigintillion. The trigintillion has 93 zeros, and after that you have what we call the googol. The googol has 100 zeros. Can you imagine? Just imagine a number that is so long it has 100 zeros. Yeah, that number, my friend, is called the googol. So is the googol the largest number? Well, no. You still have a larger number, and the largest number that mathematicians can name is called the googolplex. It's called what? The googolplex. The googolplex has 1 googol of zeros. So the next time somebody comes to you and says he has 1 zillion, tell them the zillion is not a number. After trillion, we have quadrillion. After that, we have quintillion, and so on and so forth. And the largest known number that can be named by mathematicians is googolplex. A googolplex has 1 googol of 0. That has been it for the magic segment of the lesson. I will now hand you over to Uncle Kopo for the general studies lesson. Till I come your way next class, remain wonderful mathematicians.